pre-armor, but not much for Citadel. Not going to be spreading too much here, whereas CHOPPERMAG are starting to hover incredible aggression. They're looking at the Psylocke and the Daredevil here to try and just run over Citadel. But remember, Citadel do have access to that Emma Frost, so they have a little bit of counter dive here. And Melio bringing out the Ultron here. Healing was nerfed, but it still does damage.
Starting to see it a little bit more. I think we even discussed it on the Wednesday of like this is so common that people have moved away from Ultron completely. Now they're starting to integrate it back slightly.
I didn't know he did big events. These big events too. Me?
First, trying to go for a more
I co-stream Marvel Rivals all the time.
And the Rocket to try to make sure that they have that damage boost in a lot of these team fights to go. You can see the Citadel Gaming wanted to try and back off and disengage as much as possible. Now that the point is opened up, not in the hands of anybody.
Oh, a lot of these. A lot of these computers that they're like spectating is like 40 FPS.
And with the reds coming in from Ken, we are going to see Citadel still continue to try and fight this and hold on to the point. But we're seeing CHOPPERMAG's aggression.
Wait, CHOPPERMAG!
And Ken, perfect as Zenstory with the dive. And CHOPPERMAG able to take the first control.
Oh my God!
Daredevil is able to take out Melio again.
Seems to be a really good set of pace. Something again that feels like really
they're letting the devil milk out.
Really see the Mantis and the Rocket having enough to try and get these players into position, but the coordination is there. Citadel Gaming are going to be forced back. They're trying to regroup and reset for another engagement, but they've already lost Melio high up in the sky. It's a very easy clear up for Duet.
BRB brings them back, but they're still diving into the backline, trying to get onto that extra pressure. Enzo bringing out the Angela for the extra reinforcements of dive potential, but it's taken down with the duel. Bobo picks them off, darts to the butterfly, into the back.
Bobo's popping off.
Tanuki, though, will finish off Duet, keeping this a little bit even, at least in the fight. But Bobo is uncontested, and he's just picking up KO after KO.
It really feels that Citadel are maybe panicking slightly. It's about 50% progression on the board for CHOPPERMAG.
Citadel panicking?
Back on as well. If there is a chance for Citadel Gaming to try and group up, even a portal play from Enzo was used quite early, something that they have done a lot in dominations, almost going for like hostage take plays to try and surprise CHOPPERMAG, but they managed to get out of it. That means that if it gets to 99% and we get overtime, Enzo's not going to have the portal in hand.
Bobo goes down, Enzo is pushing up, they're trying to make the most
100 Thieves plays after this.
Feast from the Abyss into the backline, not able to find the full target. Nice Dark Force teleport from Alex to avoid that initial engage. Duet falls to Enzo, and we are seeing Citadel Gaming pushing back up to the point, trying to go for the retake. Blaster Barrage from Tanuki, who's in the backline. Mantis has to use the Soul Resurgence.
Oh, they almost got the Mantis. Oh, they almost got the Mantis.
Up to the high ground, fighting the Battle Rebirth Beacon as Peptic is going in deep. The Devil has been unleashed. Galactic Legend from Tanuki with the Eternal Bond from Alex is allowing Citadel to try and drive back CHOPPERMAG with Fidel being taken out. They are running out of tools, Ryan.
They still haven't taken the point as it's about to reach 99% for CHOPPERMAG. Now they get it. Oh, almost. There's still one player that's going to push it all the way to 99%. Perfect.
Damn.
All they need to do is group up, get some ultimates together, one clean fight, and they're able to take
Are these the finals? No, this is upper bracket. This is the upper bracket still.
They have free in the bank. They want to try and keep this tempo up, go for fights against CHOPPERMAG, force out ultimates, whilst they're not ready to go for these pure 6 versus 6.
Bobo pushing up, going into the stealth to try and make the way onto the point with the freedom charge being activated on both sides. Duet and Polly. Enzo is taken down first in this fight. Battle Rebirth Beacon will bring them back as Melly's going to pull the trigger first. Dance on the butterfly onto the backline. Fidel is removed again, but counter Battle Rebirth Beacon from Skittles.
Oh my God, they almost C9, bro.
Also lucky taken out, but Melio retakes onto Peptic. It's back and forth, Ryan.
It's really a case of this coming through. Enzo connecting onto one of Fidel. There's enough damage, maybe a little bit of healing to keep him going, but Tanuki is the hunted dog that's trying to get those picks to make sure that CHOPPERMAG keep themselves a player down. However, they've taken the objective back into their favor. It means it's OT. It's not progressing for Citadel Gaming at all. Enzo, I don't think he's going to have the portal because he tried to go for the play beforehand. So it's a case of Polly trying to survive, keep stalling as much as he possibly can. He's actually doing terrifically,
he got knocked up too high. He got knocked up too high and he couldn't be on the pole.
Citadel Gaming enough to take Carousel.
Nicely done. CHOPPERMAG take the lead, and Citadel Gaming, they adjusted, they were able to retake it, but like you said, the tenacity of CHOPPERMAG to be able to just stay on that point, to keep delaying, to allow themselves to get to that 99 meant that they only had to really win one more retake, especially with Enzo already burning that portal, which will still be on cooldown for at least the start of this engage.
Yeah, I like Duet's freedom charge that we saw go in. He sort of knew that Citadel Gaming were
damn, bro.
bottleneck them into
Peptic and Bobo popping. I mean, the whole team over there. Yo, CHOPPERMAG is like
ferocity.
They're
I think,
low-key,
for
like,
CHOPPERMAG has kind of kept Citadel Gaming a
the
little bit
team from the
grounded to an
shadows.
extent. But I do think that the changes that Citadel Gaming made to their composition, putting Melee onto the Psylocke, going for more of a 2-2-2, even Tanuki bringing out the Daredevil. We saw bits and pieces of it.
Tanuki's bringing out the Daredevil.
I don't think we've seen many Daredevil
Also,
head-to-heads
so
of the
cool
new
here,
duelist added into the game, so this should be a hell of a game.
We'll have to see as we're going to make our way out, and it looks like the portal is off cooldown. The delay was just long enough, so Enzo going to open up, and once again we see Citadel going to see if they can take someone's lunch money, moving out with the portal to try and get that first grab, and Fidel is once again being bullied. The Thunder Shoot, he's just here to help. He's going to get taken down, but the BRB was placed in time to bring him back.
It seemed to be a good read. I mean, it's a common play to Citadel Gaming make. It means that if we do get to overtime on this point, that the portal should be ready. That's how the timings tend to work. But the Iron Amplifier is going to be used from Ken to allow just a little bit more lethality with Citadel's approach. They've got a couple of picks. They've got a beer at bat that's brought Alex back into the fray as they've gone down. This should be them taking the fight.
Bro, Daredevil is fucking insane, bro.
As much as they possibly can. It just seems to be the elimination feed is full of the red of Citadel.
Like you said, that compositional adjustment from Citadel seems to be paying off dividends
bro,
right now.
Bro, Daredevil looks fucking insane.
So early in the round, there's a chance that it might be available for a retake. If we do see CHOPPERMAG go for a swap and start getting close to that 99, there is the opportunity to re-engage for Citadel. And now building up towards ultimates, 84% towards that Eye of Agamotto, 87 for Dance of the Butterflies, 90 for Freedom Charger. We already have letting Devil out and Invisible Boundary.
Oh, let's see him put the Devil out.
Key. We're trying to go for some major Eye of Agamottos. The AoE stun can be blocked by so much, but the Soul Resurgence is going to be used first from Fidel. They want to try and go for this fight, and it really sets up Bobo nicely with the Dance of the Butterflies. Cutting through 2-1 is going to be brought back. The Invisible Boundary was used from Alex, but I think because he was eliminated, it got shut down early.
Bobo's flanking is insane. He's always on the flank.
I'm surprised they didn't let the Devil out, chat.
Hit here. Mario is charged up with the darts of the Butterfly, but with Bobo able to clean them out, we've seen the flip from 30% to 17 in favor of Citadel, but CHOPPERMAG control the point. Coming in from above, the Devil has been unleashed by Pethic, diving directly into Citadel.
Damn, bro.
Bobo and Fidel are taken down. The sustain is being removed.
Oh, you can't go invisible from him because he sees you. Oh my god. This character, bro. This character.
Evening up the fight as Duo chases it in. The Devil's been unleashed for Tanuki now. Onto the fight. Emilio is the one who falls, though.
They still haven't taken the objective. You can just see how fast Tanuki's going into the back line, but Bobo peels perfectly. Pethic also finds a pick onto Ken, and it seems to be more.
Oh my god, his dead body up there was kind of funny.
Either way, but there's no semblance, there's no coordination for Citadel Gaming. It feels like we're cutting into so many different micro fights because of how these compositions are working. It is an outright brawl in the first day of DreamHack Atlanta, and Zen Starry finds a perfect pick onto Alex with the Feast of the Abyss.
Alex going down as a big chunk of the healing. Ken does have that Cosmic Yarn Amplifier for a bit of bonus health for this last possible fight, because we're getting close to 67% here. Citadel Gaming looking for the re-engage as Duap is using those mutant gates for the portals to just try and pressure them near their spawn. Bobo almost
good thing I don't have enough channel points to bet, but I put all my money on CTG, chat. It looks like CHOPPERMAG look like they came to play, chat. They came to play.
As well. Everybody's thrown themselves into a choke, though. It's not the perfect position. He wants to isolate targets if he can, but they lose Duep in the process. Zenstarry looking for a chance to dive. He's going to have the Vanguard counterpart back in a second with the BRB. He finds himself too. Enzo's trading onto Fidel, so it is just Skittles alive to work with. He's used the Arm Amplifier to really set up these duelists to find these picks. It's 99% again. Citadel Gaming, they could go down 0-2 on this domination map.
They're delaying as best as they can. Poly charges up to the point with the Liberty Rush. Ken is portaling in. They've had to swap it, but overtime ticks down. They can't reach. And
damn! Oh shit! Oh shit! They're talking shit!
Citadel Gaming at all.
Oh, you saw that? He got up and he was like, "Come on, hey, let's go, crowd, let's go." I don't know what that guy did. That guy looked at them like that. I don't know what he was doing. Nice.
For Citadel Gaming, if they want to continue up in this winners
oh shit, bro! Come on, Citadel. You can't let them do that to you guys. You guys gotta lock it in, man.
Full 3-match series.
The Devil.
Come on, man.
Taking the MVP. Pethic was putting on quite the performance there, but we've also got to point out
but this is bad. You know why? Because the game is still not over, chat. It's 1-0. You need 2 wins. It's a best of 3. It's a best of 3. So, like, if you talk shit right now and you're up 1-0, the other team reverse sweeps and they win the next 2, you look dumb. So, hey, they gotta lock it in.
You can't say that they're inexperienced. Maybe like getting used to these kind of events. We're seeing a lot more audience, certainly in the West as well, like the first like international LAN that we've had here outside of China, right? And it's the first like major event.
Yeah,
that we've
those are like little hand warmers.
Rivals. This has to be a very quick turnaround and a very quick talk. But this, for Salah, I suppose, the coach that sat on the right-hand side, he's saying, we're used to this, we've been here before, we get to choose convoy, we know what kind of adjustments we want to make.
Oh shit, bro. Oh shit. Oh shit, bro.
For Citadel Gaming to try and bring this back, and you can see the differences here.
Does the first win curse continue? I don't know if... Well, usually the first win isn't Koth. Like, if you win the first map on Koth, and then the other team wins the second map, usually the team that wins that second map wins, like, the whole thing. In my opinion. That's what I see a lot, but...
Trading up often, and so much of that came down to Duet, Bobo, and Pethig. Just being able to take these dive fights, the aggro of them, and of course that one send Starry.
Oh, that Venom mag, like, on the floor actually looped them up. Yeah. Ian, appreciate the massive dono. That's exactly what I'm thinking, man.
Individuals are just running away going,
are they from Australia? I think a lot of their players are from Australia, but you also have a player that's Chinese as well, and I don't know what else.
And then he comes in, the cerebral play, the timing, and it just felt like CHOPPERMAG knew that they had to play fast. They had to be in and out, make out like bandits kind of thing, because Citadel Gaming do make the right adjustments, but in this
and Fidel's in it. I think Fidel is... I don't think Fidel is on the team, isn't he? Because I thought like maybe one of their players couldn't like come because of like visa issues and whatnot, so he's filling. I thought...
I imagine it's radio silent so far on that stage.
They're just going to be discussing.
Yeah, so I don't think Fidel's actually on the team in Spark. Well, Spark is not from CHOPPERMAG. Spark.
Final hits for both Bobo and Pethig.
Yeah, no. Chat, we're talking about CHOPPERMAG.
Melio with 9, trying to keep up through those fights. They also went through a lot of characters. They started on Psylocke. They started on the Ultron, then onto Psylocke, and then onto Adam at the end, but wasn't able to get enough charge for a common revival. But Bobo in that game, like we said, while Zenstari, Pethig, Duet, all of these people had an impact, Bobo was able to do so much work for this team, just flanking constantly. That's Skittles, that's not Bobo, as we see but a KD of 7.3 in that game.
Yeah, I mean, I still want to see the Hulk now that that was spoken about in the interview that you had.
I like those little player things down there.
Do. And it's a character that really seems to be coming back into the fray. And certainly when you're in these situations, there was so much stock that was put onto playing one duelist, triple strategist, there you go. And look, he knows how to do this kind of stuff, right? Like, he had such a good run with like Nova in the mid-season finals. It was a team that like people were like, they could have gone a lot further if they weren't stuck in that playing stage. They're able to sort of go into that point. But
I don't know why damage taken is a stat that they want to show. Like, isn't that kind of weird? It's like, oh wow, this guy had a 7.3 KD. He had 13 final hits. Oh wow, he took 3,000 damage.
Into OUG in the final
he took 3,000.
So they probably have maybe the most experience on this map out of any team, because so few teams have had the chance to play it in the actual tournament games.
Yeah, I think healing received or maybe like damage done would probably be a little better.
It did feel a little bit that they were playing against OUG. They had already qualified. OUG already eliminated. It went to a third map. It's like, why not at this rate?
Have you had any pauses? Oh, we actually had crashes. The stream crashed like 4 times.
Right, of Yggdrasil's path, any convoy.
Faneku, tier 2 for 16 months. Absolutely insane. I appreciate it.
For them. The problem is for Convergence, much like Domination at this event, it's like sub 50. They lose more than they win in this game mode, and it's a gamble. But I imagine CHOPPERMAG are just like, all right, we're 1-0 up. Like, we take that risk.
So here's the argument.
That hurt my feelings.
Here, likely because they can choose where to go through. Like you said, they've not had as good of a win rate, so you want to prioritize where you get to play. If your best map is Convoy and you're comfortable on basically every map that is delivered there, then perhaps you are going to be able to take control, even if
this is not losers, chat. This is upper bracket.
Already safe. This way, Citadel are trying to take control of their destiny in a position where they might have been a little weaker earlier.
It's true. So if you win this one, CHOPPERMAG would get the map choice, and it's any convoy. So Citadel like, yeah, choose whatever map you want. We're all very good on them. Whereas if they picked convoy and won it, CHOPPERMAG just got Jelly, don't they? Exactly. They got the Jelly, which has not gone well for Citadel either with records. And it's not as if that these teams can't make the adaptations. In fact, all of these events are built around making those changes. It is just more, you don't want that in the back of your head. You have got a Jeff Protect coming in for CHOPPERMAG, but it hasn't been banned out just yet. is just that protect onto Emma Frost, which Citadel
the
Gaming
gambling
is
has
starting to lean
already
towards more than the protect onto the
started.
Jeff
You're
building
gonna have to
around
probably
that kind
wait
of
for this game to
But
be
they did
done.
abandon it in the last game. They did have it, but they moved Enzo so quickly,
1.5 million on Chopper Mag, 2.7 on Citadel, and if Chopper Mag wins, that's almost a 1 to 3 return ratio. So if you bet 250k, you're almost gonna be walking away with, you know, 750,000 channel points on a 250k bet. That's crazy.
Jeff has already been protected. Adam has been allowed through.
So yeah, you're missing the Mantis, the Venom, the Angela. Angela's definitely an interesting one, but we did see Polly have some amazing moments in the end. Might be able to sort of focus on, yeah, making sure that it seems to what we've seen in similar series. Those problematic heroes in the last map, just make sure that they're not available for this one again for Chopper Mag.
That Psylocke was just a bit too much from Bobo, so going to remove that from the board, and we have the Jeff protected for Citadel. It slept all the way down that draft phase and will actually be allowed to be picked up. Double Jeff protect for the teams, and Winter Soldier will be the last remove here by Chopper Mag, meaning that Citadel
There's no way they play Daredevil again, are they? No fucking way.
We get to see what Chopper Mag could do on the latest map, and what could we've seen a little bit of it because we saw OUG play it twice.
They're playing Daredevil again. Ooh. I'm becoming a fan of Chopper Mag, chat, because just because they're playing a new character that a lot of teams are not playing.
Point 1 constant. Point 2 seems to be a little bit more momentum based. If you're able to keep that, keep those tablets moving through that underground section, then it's a little bit easier to move on to potentially to that point 3. But this first point is
wait.
It's a long distance for both teams, but portals, of course, for defenders.
Wait. We're going to the new map. We're going to the new map for the first time on the playoffs. We did it in the bracket stage, like Group A and Group B, but not on the playoffs.
And certainly, we saw it a little bit in those series of just the Angela.
I like this map. And the snow falling, I really do like this map.
The defending team has to pull back to what's behind them, so you don't just get jumped by Angela and taken out, especially with these coordinated dives. But Chopper Mag are going to be defending first. Citadel choosing the map and
Let's see this, chat.
Really using this as an opportunity to throw curveballs, which is what they've loved to do ever since.
I'm very excited about this. I want to see how they play this map.
Going heavy on the aggression, already starting off with the Jeff speed bubbles to get them to the point. Perfect is back on that Daredevil. They were one of the most aggressive players in the mid-season finals as well. Bringing out stuff like the Black Panther and the Wolverine, adjusting back when they were called FMCL. Now they continue the actual momentum and, of course, the legacy that they left behind from that tournament.
Yeah, like you see, there's just a lot of fighting. All of these characters hyper mobile, these lots of 1v1s. It makes sense Iron Fist has been studying here with all of the isolated fights that he wants to be taking. But now we're looking for Melio to try and find a pick, trying to synergize with Polly, but it's not necessarily going to be in need because Polly in himself is a force to be reckoned with. Trying to see if he can find
some. I hope they never bring 2CP into this game, chat. Stop. Don't give them ideas. Stop it. Stop it.
Not playing Gambit, but making a name for himself here. Duop has been putting pressure on the backline, taking down 10 earlier. Perfect finds Alex, utilizing the ability to just track people through the waterfalls and through the mist of that Daredevil to just make sure that everyone is already pressured. We're about halfway through the cap, but once again, Citadel will be...
I like 2CP for Overwatch, not for this game, chat. I think it would be crazy for this game.
The Daredevil helping to see if any players from Citadel Gaming trying to sort of sneak around into the backline of Chopper Mag. And Duet almost playing a sort of counter flank. If anybody tries to go on that right-hand side, they're going to run right into it and go for the dive themselves. But Melio, he's been very quiet here, trying to see if he can get onto one of these strategists. But the problem is that Rocket Raccoon is one of the most mobile. Melio's going to try and help the rest of his team that goes down in the process because of the ultimate, even the focus from Pefik.
Bobo entered into the duel, was able to evade the majority of the shots. Of course,
2CP is 2 capture point, chat. If you played Overwatch 1, you'd know.
Have the duel there, and then with the reinforcements from Panther, they're able to take the duel. It's Jeff utilized more for the healing area than anything else. But if they can get someone out of position on this backline, going to try and remove any of the snipe, but it's actually going to get their own Captain America, removes them back.
Oh, that's a feels fucking bad, man.
After the butterfly from Melio as they try to create an opening.
Seeing what they can get, but Bobo uses the Galactic Legend as a response. There's not enough ground to cover for Bobo. He's managing to find these picks, and Citadel Gaming trying to go for a bit of a rest by all of that momentum that they might have been able to get off the back of Melio's pick is completely dissipated now. It's just
I don't think Resource Rumble is going to go in rank.
To confirm this
I don't know.
Point. It feels that whilst we haven't seen an awful lot of this map texture, the progression it's made so far might not be enough.
Here comes it's Jeff from Ken, seeing if they can grab someone, teleport, used by Boba to get himself out of danger. Pethick gets stunned out, tries to go for it.
Uh-oh, he didn't hit anyone. That's a feels fucking bad, man.
Pick up as Duep and Polly go for the brawl. Pethick, the devil has been unleashed by Tanuki, but Duep team and their team topped up with the freedom charge. The heaven has descended onto the point. Melio is brought back at the BRB as the silence dash and tries to
what is this? Oh, another ice?
onto Tanuki, chasing the raccoon onto the high ground, but he's backing away. Pethick is picked up and brought back. Fidel on this rocket is doing so much for their team to keep them on this point, but Tanuki is relentless here, chasing down the shark.
Yeah, he's trying to get the picks, but just that no drop-off healing from Jeff. Now he's able to work together with Polly to find these eliminations, but they're still going back in the other way. The Vanguards for CHOPPERMAG holding on. There's just 40 seconds left for Citadel Gaming's attack to get a little bit more. Their choice of map, they've been stalled out a little bit, but it's just CHOPPERMAG able to just keep throwing bodies at the point. And now Citadel, only 30 seconds to try and push on. They find a pick onto Bobo. They need to build up some of these ultimates too.
Bobo is taken down. Pethick looking for the reinforcements, going to try and take out the rocket on the backline to remove that battle rebirth beacon to prevent any kind of reinforcement. It's Jeff from Skittles to remove the attackers from the board, trying to grab someone up onto the side of the map as Bobo takes to the sky. Milio with darts to the bottom.
You only like them because they have the Chinese
chasing down the defenders. Perfect falls, but Duep is brought back at the battle rebirth beacon to keep this fight going.
True, and Australia and America.
To try and remove them from the board, chasing them inside the building to make sure there's no escape if they can get rocket. They don't find it, it's just too high.
I think they are
Tanuki trying to chase down, remove the battle rebirth beacon. Alex falls,
popular team.
falls, the rockets are down for both sides. The portal comes on out from Pethick to hold this line.
How much more
no, I'm not doing drugs,
with
chat. It's
it's
ice.
And it's right all in a concentrated spot. You've even got the freedom charge for a little bit more supportive utility, but a Galactic Legend is going to show up just at the end of it. There goes Ken. One of the backline already taken down, and it's right at the edge there. It seems that the picks are going Citadel's way, and finally, there's no way to say it. Like, Citadel love to play Atlantis use so much for so many like MCU films. Feels that this is the perfect cinema for these guys too.
They always fight until the end. The reinforcements coming on in. Bobo being forced to teleport out with that rocket network in order to just get out, but they were in mid. Oh, Mark onto Melio, forced to retreat, but here comes Cap as well. They are focusing there, chasing them.
Bro, I really like how both of these teams are running the Daredevil. This has been my favorite matchup so far. Besides like 100 Thieves and the Virtus Pro one, because that was actually a really entertaining game, and then went to a match 3, and it was really close.
Tanuki is just getting completely zoned away. They're so isolated here. They even need to go down fast or get out of here, and it looks like...
Thank you, by the way.
Both these teams love to play and fight fire with fire. Just a high tempo, especially when you're defending. Citadel Gaming will do it a lot.
And
just
Angela, yeah.
Constant fights, even if it's not in a great spot, to just waste as much time. Melio
Damn.
knows this. It's Citadel all over. They know
Damn, he's an ult just to kill that fucking Daredevil.
So they go for a play to make sure
that poor lawyer, bro. He was just trying to do some defending on some clients.
Jeff in a combination with all of those players grabbed up, seeing if they can grab a few more, but it is just the one on the objective, still being stalled out from CHOPPERMAG, and even using the Daredevil ult. Citadel Gaming are trying to make traction, but they're stuck in the mud.
Pethick's trying to brawl it, trying to force him off the point. It's Jeff coming in from Ken. Both teams just grabbing their own teammates, not able to find the targets as of yet, but forcing them back onto the high ground. Tanuki moves in for the flag. The devil is out, pushing on to take out the rocket, removing the revive. As that car continues to move on forward, Citadel have the momentum right now, going in for the brawl, onto the Angela. You cannot escape the devil of Hell's Kitchen.
Does Daredevil get shields per ability used too? Bro, that's actually cool. This character's insane.
High ground. He's trying his best to just buy as much time as possible, but there's enough focus and maybe enough peel now. Tanuki is not taking his eyes off of the Jeff. #1 enemy to focus on, but the rest
no
of the
fucking way, bro. That's insane.
Not going down to HP, not going down to the environment, but they're still being chased. Bobo on the track. Bobo's forced to retreat though back as Polly's in the backline. Carrot with the Cosmic Yard Amplifier for the bonus health, but it's going to be taken out quickly. No more bonus health for CHOPPERMAG. Here comes the Galactic Legend, and there's no defensive abilities at all for Citadel. Tanuki is down, Alex is down, with overtime on the line. They're running out of time. Melio with the dart to the butterfly takes out Pethick. Skittles removes Enzo from the ball, which is the main health pull. Tanuki is over to the Doctor Strange to make sure they can pull it back in because Melio is having to touch in order to buy the point.
Oh, they swallowed the TP. Oh, no.
It's all that's left of the people.
Oh, fuck.
extra time onto that objective to make sure overtime continues. Tanuki's gonna have to rush on in. Freedom charge from Duep to keep this fight going. It's Jeff on the counter to try and remove the rocket. If you can remove Battle Rebirth Beacon from the point.
Yeah, there's two casters, guys. Yeah, that's true.
Down. Here comes with the Heaven's Descent to hold the line for just a second longer. Overtime is removed, and CHOPPERMAG are holding. They've pushed them back, and they hold Citadel at point 159 meters.
And doing it from their playbook, right? We saw Citadel game.
Damn, bro. Hey, that was good casting, though. That was good casting. Listen, sometimes you just gotta let your co-caster just pop off.
Try to isolate targets. Make sure that if you try to overextend as the attacking team to try and take space, that you just keep that payload stuck on the ground. CHOPPERMAG showing the Citadel.
Oh, come on, Citadel, bro. Come on.
They love to play brawly.
Come on, man. You guys can't be going out like this. Chat, this is still full holdable.
Together just as strong of a defensive side, just as strong as a first point hold as well, wasting all 4 minutes that CHOPPERMAG did last time.
This has to be the defense of Citadel Gaming's life, and you immediately see in comes Groot, in comes Adam, charge up those revives. They brought out the Loki, double revives. This isn't as easy of a map to portal.
Double revives. Oh, they're playing double revive, chat. Uh-oh, this would be interesting. Double
rise in priority, but it's still time for Daredevil. Tanuki with the sustain, keeping them in this fight. Pethick is teasing us. I doubt this will make it out the door, but it would be cool.
Look how many picks that pretty much for the duelists it's even.
There's no way they're playing fucking Mr. Fantastic. That would be the first time we ever saw Mr. Fantastic on a $1 million stage, chat. There's no way.
A little bit more. You wanted to go for the one-sided Emma, so you don't really play that very concentrated dive style. You want to
okay, yeah, they're not playing stretchy, man. They're not playing stretchy, man.
Loose. It's hard to isolate those targets because by the time that you realize what's happening, you might be a player down. Look at them go already. They're going into the left-hand side as a team.
Bobo sieging. It's a full wraparound for CHOPPERMAG to try and remove the defensive position. Look at where those group walls are, though. They're trying to make it so that if they try to come through the tunnel, it's going to be a very difficult engage point. But entering into the duel, Tanuki forced back by Duep, who's been putting on a clinic on this Captain America. Pethick takes out one group wall, is immediately focused down, has to deep.
Oh, feels bad, man. There goes our lawyer, chat. We don't have a public defendant now. We're going to jail.
Pretty much a full wipe out. The problem now with like CHOPPERMAG's composition, if you go for these attacking sides now, is there's a lot of players that are now isolated. It means it's going to take a while for CHOPPERMAG to try.
Will you be playing Arc Raiders today? I might try it out today. Depends on when the co-streams are done and what time it is.
More information on who's nearby. You know exactly who's isolated, who's in the spot that they should not be on this attack.
Melio just sending cosmic clusters through the gate to make sure they can grab anyone. Bobo has taken a little bit of a tip from OUG. The Chinese.
Can you play like solo, or do you have to play with like a group?
Melt through that group, melt through that Emma onto the point. Pethick getting the stun onto Tanuki, who retreats up to the high ground. Means they'll still stay in this fight. We're also building up close to that God of Mischief. Which
you can play solo. Okay, is it easy solo, or do you need a group? Should probably say that.
Onto the point to try and reset up the Loki zone, straggling prison. Pethick is the first to fall though. Skittles keeping the team topped up with the counter invisible boundary so that they can push on through. Citadel holding the line at least for the moment. No resets.
It's hard solo. I'm probably gonna play it solo then. I'll probably play with someone else. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know what my plan is right now.
Holding this, but Tanuki outside of the boundary will fall.
Yeah, Duep's managed to take him down with just a volley. Now sign of seduction from Enzo's going to try and go in for the counter-attack, stem the bleeding, so to speak, but he goes down in the process.
Oh, we have an Iron Fist.
He goes down.
Oh! He just got a 3-piece. He's not going to get the res. He's not going to get the res off.
Have a chance to use his camera revival. You could see him trying to set up.
This is bad. This is bad. He has to.
That might be the main focus. Have Melio sort of come back. He's going to be there. He still has that camera revival, but there's just enough stall right before CHOPPERMAG were able to take the point.
Oh, they have Soul Bomb that can drive it right through, but a straggling pressure comes on in regeneration domain. The devil has been unleashed, but that Groot is doing so much work, but it does not matter. The regeneration domain is going to allow Citadel to take on through, and CHOPPERMAG will be repelled one more time with 90 seconds remaining. They are just being staggered as well, though. Pethick and Duep both being taken down. The Iron Fist forced to retreat on a slither of HP.
And you've still sat on with not only the Calumet Revival, but you have almost got the God of Mischief for Ken if you want to go for that copy too. Citadel Gaming holding on by the skin of their teeth. It means that Enzo has not got the portal play for, what, 2.5 minutes, but you would expect that this is going to go on a lot more than that with some of these overtime fights, and with that payload having to travel a good amount past this first point. But there's 1 minute left for CHOPPERMAG to get stuff together. You're trying to synergize that Kraken's impact with that Strangling Prison, but it's not ready yet. He's going to go in first, actually, with the invisible boundary. This is a hot tempo play for CHOPPERMAG. If Citadel survive it, they have a great advantage.
Final introduction to try and pull them out of the boundary. It will get onto Z-Story, but they're still tanking, able to push on through. Kraken impact from Pethic to open up, to force that invisible boundary.
Man, I hate using my Bucky ult and then a support ult pops. Oh, that's big. That's big. That's big. Oh my god. Oh my god, Enzo. Oh my god.
It's a full wipe with delay.
Wait, why did they use invisible? Oh, it was the... Okay.
Pull him away from the edge so he can't go down quicker. They delay him all the way, and that means CHOPPERMAG are taking this last fight 5v6.
They have got the portal. Like,
wait, do they not have a portal? Oh no, chat, do they not have portal?
It is just holding W and hoping that you touch, but against the force physics, that can stop you. The dash just in time for Bobo with the Iron Fist going in onto the fight the back line, but the overtime is starting to burn away for CHOPPERMAG. You've got Tanuki trying to see what target he wants to pick. The stress is now on the attackers of CHOPPERMAG, looking to go
oh
to a
no, the Iron Fist is down.
Arrives with the meteor catches Tanuki. Immediately Melio with the Karmic Revival inside in a safe position means that they will be up in this fight. Poly Revive too, and the numbers are heavily in favor of Citadel. But the portal is coming in from Bobo. They might be able to reach the point, but there's only a sliver left. If they get removed from this point, it could be all over. The healing coming on out, invisible bound.
Do they have the TP?
Extra delay, and it's CHOPPERMAG.
They're TPing, I think. They're TPing right now.
With Pethic down, they're running out of time and momentum. Enzo's already charged up for another eye among
oh shit, he has another eye, chat. He has another eye. He has another eye.
There comes the stun, but it's all in favor of Citadel right now. They have the numbers, invisible boundary number 2.
Oh, it's big!
One more time. They see the future.
Oh my god, this guy, remember, Enzo's on a controller, chat. He's crazy on the sticks.
One by one. Melio falls, has Cocoon can reinforce onto this fight as CHOPPERMAG are just out of tools.
Oh,
out of steam completely.
My
you have
god,
to say,
bro. We're going to a match 3.
We saw his Eye of Agamotto's, those stuns be shut down so often by good force physics and good bulwarks from Magneto up against Rajaro and Navi, and all through the group stages, able to connect onto the right people against some
good shit, Citadel, bro. Good shit, Citadel. They didn't. Hey, they did well. They did well.
And I think with the stats, it makes sense. It really does feel a Citadel Gaming thrive
they did
in these
well.
kind of moments. Backs to the wall where things get scrappy. There's only one team to rely on in those moments.
But look at this, Citadel. There's still no smiles because they know it's not over yet. The journey starts with a single step, and while they are 1-1 in this matchup, there is still one more to go in order to progress into that upper bracket. But it's more CHOPPERMAG. All of them have LAN experience except for Skittles not make it to that mid-season, and Fidel coming in as the substitute. They are now the ones having to refocus as they're being taken to the edge.
And it's now a choice of a convoy map.
Hey, by the way, one team has a controller tank player, the other team has a controller support player, just as a heads up, chat. Shout out to all the controller players out there.
Between the maps, Citadel Gaming love convoy game modes. They pretty much have set a checkmate situation of whatever map you pick, we are good on.
And let's find out what the analysis desk thinks of the options left available for CHOPPERMAG.
Bro, it's... When you wear headphones, chat, and you game, the hair goes down. It's normal. It's like leaving something outside in the grass. The grass is not going to grow, obviously, or not even grow, but like go up.
Matsy, so composed, always know. I'm telling you, this man, he had me hyped up. Hey, Matsy, let's talk about Chopper, because right now I'm a Bobo fan. Okay, sign this man. This guy's legit. Let's talk about them, and then we'll talk about Citadel as well. Matsy.
Yeah, grab the pen, sign them up. That's going to be their true objective there for sure. You know, they want to get signed. This is their chance to prove themselves, and they are definitely putting on a show for everybody here today. But coming into this next one, you know, the pressure's at an all-time high because both teams have had a slice of the pie here.
A slice of the pie. It's Australian of you. I love that, man. Listen, I mean, we are losing it at not only Bobo, but hey, Pethic. How many times did we say Pethic? The Daredevil play in general, folks, was absolutely crazy. What did you think?
Yeah, I was going to say immediately, that was disgusting. Pethig looked insane. I mean,
Maybe,
that's definitely a
maybe
map
they
that
stay
favors
together as a
Daredevil
team
with that
after this,
smoke.
chat.
You can see
I mean,
through it,
I know a
goes
lot of
through
people are
invis,
like,
you're looking at all invis and even off-angle plays. So it was very difficult to get
No,
around
not all on
Pethig,
a
who's
team,
just
but-
hunting
oh, man.
everyone down.
Yeah, absolutely. And of all places, right? Getting the new map, too, for what could have been the game that sent Citadel down. I love that by them as almost a little bit of a strategic play, maybe, like maybe calling out Chopper for not going there all too much. But I guess talking about maps, while we're on the subject, checking out some of the crazy highlights, Matsy, where do you think Chopper is going to bring it? The advantage of losing map 1, or getting map 1, as you can see, bring it together in map 3.
Yeah, I think that now that they've tasted defeat into this series, this is only going to make them even
How many
hungrier,
games are
because
going to be
as
played
you heard
today?
them in their interview,
4 played
they're
already,
slamming
and
their
there's
best.
2 more.
They want to take
Oh, this is the
win,
4th game.
and
There's 2 more
they are
after
gonna
this.
do whatever they can to get their hands on
Are you
it.
going to do another
Yeah, listen,
2v2
I mean,
ring
we
sometime
saw
soon? I
the
want to get to the
player
next one.
cams. Citadel, they
I have
high
no idea. It's up
expectations
to
of
the
themselves. They
editor,
were looking
Alex.
Flustered. They were flustered, but then on the CHOPPERMAG side, I mean, it was just confidence. You wouldn't expect that, from these the Cinderella story.
Yeah, and they even pulled out Iron Fist from Bobo at one point. They didn't even portal in on the final touch, and Strange is even banned. Me personally, I was shocked when I saw that, but the touch comes in from Bobo at the last moment. The team looked confident. We saw a little bit of mishap there with a couple double strat ults, which you cannot be doing at this level.
What time
but they were
does the
able to
game
push
start
through it.
tomorrow?
Yeah, let's talk about the stars, right? You see this in sports all the time.
Same
where there's
time,
one insane
11.
talented player that could just take the team up to victory. All of a sudden, the side of Chopper, it's all Bobo. I mean, I see you Twitch chat, I see you YouTube, just Bobo's raining down on the other side. Paulie and what he's been able to put together on the Vanguard front. And for me, too, I think it's been the battle of the lawyers, if you will.
Sure. Yeah, Tanuki, again, I mean, you saw some of those plays. There was one point on point 2 where he was off map for a bit, came back on and had 3 people chasing him around, and that buys so much time. So that looked really good there from Citadel.
Hello, chat, give me a second.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
and
pee
it
real
really
quick.
just goes to show, they've been able to play into their strengths there. They just haven't been able to find an answer for Tanuki on the CHOPPERMAG side. They had their Psylocke banned out. We saw the power of that on the map 1. Like, Bobo was just running a train, and the train stopped abruptly.
Yeah, you brought up a good point, Shippy. We talked about the portal. We were like, where's the portal for the last point touch, right? They Zinstar was getting close to the Groot ult as well, or they had the Groot ult as well.
Yeah.
So I think maybe that was the reason Bobo barely touched. It was crazy right there at the
Yeah, I was worried, to be honest. And even so, I didn't love it because it did put him in a tough spot. He gets picked before the team gets there, but, again, it's just confidence in him as a player.
All right, on the line right now, who's going to win this next one? Ship, then Matt. Who you got?
I'm sorry, buddy. I've got to say Citadel. They're such a good team. I love CHOPPERMAG, and the energy you're bringing right now has me want to just lift this table with my bare hands, but...
Oh, I reckon it's going to be going away over CHOPPERMAG. I think, like you said, they're going to be pumped up and ready for action here. I think now that they've tasted defeat, it's going to make them even more excited to try and steal this one through.
All right, Atlanta, let's hear you. Who do you got? It's Chopper versus Citadel, match number 3. One of these being pushed down to the lower as we take a look at the next part of this matchup, which will be the pick ban phase. I think both teams have played really well here. If we take a look at the strategic approach, Matsy, break it down here to start it off.
Coming at you. We already got both Emmas taken away, so we will not see the seduction coming out on Midtown this time. And I tell you, with these teams already facing some wounds in the first couple of maps, they're going to need that ambulance. But Jeff is going to be stolen away from Citadel here. They had a bit of impact with that one in the last map, and taking away the Mantis, that's going to be solid for them.
Ship, talk to me a little bit about the Animal Crossing backline. We're not going to see that because the Jeff's banned there on the top side.
Yeah, so a lot of times during this meta, teams are electing to run that Animal Crossing backline, like you said, with Jeff and Rocket. The idea there is you want to have a self-survivable comp, so your rest of your team is going to be playing their own game, while the backline's able to escape from that more divey meta that we're having right now.
I had to go to the
Keeps you
bathroom, my
up,
bad.
Let the team do what they got to do, get ults, and you commit together.
We got to see the Loki ban here. That's huge. Whenever you get the Mantis save, it just has to fall
to be
in,
honest
right?
with you,
can't
why do we
allow
wash
that
our
to
hands
sneak
when we
its
go to the
way
bathroom,
in,
chat?
at
Such a
least
waste of
you can
time, bro.
wait a
Am I right?
little bit longer here as we take a look at the next part of the bans. That's what I would see. Definitely coming from
good call.
Chopper. There's the... Okay, so we're going to go... Hey, this makes
Like,
sense.
I could have
Right?
been
The
back
Jeff
to
says
stream so much
goodbye,
faster, and you guys wouldn't have like been like
and then
without
you
me
can't
if
get
I
the
just
Loki
like
team up
didn't
right
wash
back.
your...
Yeah,
If we
that's
just don't
right.
wash our
You don't
hands,
wanna
right?
be able to allow those team ups through, allow them a bit more power, because otherwise they're just going to wreak havoc all over your backline there. But next save is going to be the cap, and Psylocke stolen again.
Yeah, removing Psylocke there is a good decision because, again, Bobo is looking so
One-man
good
army.
on Psylocke. I don't see why you wouldn't, so that is going to be removed. And saving the cap, like you had said, you know, it's another one of those self-survivable comps, right? Your job there is go back towards your backline if they ever need help, pop that freedom charge, or even use it to engage.
Yeah, I know we don't have any America.
Are you going to see the games that start at 9 a.m.? Yes, I am streaming all of it.
Paulie, this cap on cap.
Oh,
it's like
yes.
right out of the MCU. That's what I'm all about here as we lock in, load. Everybody, we are set for match 3. One of these teams for Australia or EMEA are going down to the lower bracket. Now to bring all the action, all the heat to you, let's throw it back on over to Tetra and Ryan.
Mantis on the board. Thank you very much, Des, because we are heading on in, and they brought it up perfectly. What is neither of these teams are the American teams, although we do have one American player in the form of Fidel. Yep, very much seems to be coming down to the battle of the Captain America.
Oh, they actually did ban Daredevil. Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah,
first Daredevil ban?
I think it's just shone massively here, and I think the Vanguards are definitely the ones that are just trying to quite literally mitigate a lot of that damage that's coming through when you have all of this duelists pretty much either holding W or holding a controller down, because you have got 2 controller players in with Skittles on the back line of CHOPPERMAG and Enzo in the front line of Citadel. Citadel went onto this map against OUG almost with a little bit of hubris, right? They'd already qualified, they banned out the Iron Fist up against Molan Ran of OUG and decided to play it themselves, and it sort of bit them in the backside, so to speak. It's how we ended up on Heart of Heaven in that series. But here, it shows that it wasn't just a bit of a diff play. Tanuki's on the Iron Fist first as they go on this attacking side. A 2-2-2 setup with Polly on the fall for a second, but now he's back on the groove.
They looked at it, they decided that, you know what, this seems like a pretty good idea. Let's try it. They move out on the Iron Fist for just a second, see how their opponents are set up for the defense, and immediately swap over to the Storm, knowing that it would be too risky to push into the setup with Bobo on that Adam Warlock for the defense. So they're just going for overwhelming firepower with the Goddess boost from the Storm onto that Punisher to just melt through those group walls. But we are seeing the group wall up here as both are just trying to trap the other out of line of sight of their strategists.
You're looking for those fights. Seeing Tanuki on Storm brings us back to the Invitational, I think, when it was OG that was representing some of these players beforehand. But Tanuki now finding a couple more picks. You got the Be Right Back bringing people into the fray yet again, but it seems that there is a player disadvantage more on the side for CHOPPERMAG. It is going to be the Arm Amplifier used on both sides to try and up that damage, up that sustain to keep going, but it's not going to be enough. CHOPPERMAG, that free setup has to change.
Bobo just had one of the fastest charges on a Karmic Revival I think I've ever seen, and he still can't get it off in time. But luckily for CHOPPERMAG, I think is one of the first characters to go down in that fight. I mean, they can portal for the re-engage, and now they have a Karmic Revival available for it, so they can try and take this duel. Here comes the final judgment for Melio. They're just going to try and commit to this. Don't give them the chance to react. They take down Adam once again. Meteor M to try and blow him up. Melio going to be wrapping around for the defense, but Zenstory do have it all down. That'll rebuff pick and bring them back. Here comes Bobo. Ooh, for the revive, but it's taken out mid-air. Beautiful pickup by Melio, and the momentum is now fully in favor of Citadel. Struggling for the comes on out, and it is thoroughly ignored.
It is very clean in the end from Citadel Gaming. Even with that camera revival, it amounted to very little. Going to see if Bobo's going to switch off of the Adam Warlock or if they want to stay onto this conversation. It is a couple of changes, more lateral, right? You've got the Angela now in play and the Daredevil Star-Lord for more of this fast play, the Zootopia backline of the Jeff Rocket Raccoon to play hard and fast into Citadel.
Going for the brawl style. That Star-Lord's going to be able to duel Tanuki in the sky a little bit better in vulnerability.
Serious Jet? Oh no, I was reading something. Sorry, my bad.
Very hard to be taken out in an air-to-air duel. Duet's going to be picked up by Melio, who's so good with this shotgun for the Punisher for dealing with backliners. I have Agamotto into the air to take out their stories. Enzo ignoring the ground.
It looks like
the sky.
It's just, even though it connects to one, the fact that the rest of Citadel Gaming were ready to jump on top. You've got the Strangling Prison used in.
Nah, it looks like CTG woke up, bro. CTG is... It looks like they're running away with this tournament.
You've even got Tanuki still over on the Storm. He has the Omega Hurricane. He could just bank on it. He sat back waiting to get towards this second checkpoint, and then CHOPPERMAG have to respect it. You do have the It's Jeff in use from Skittles, but you're still losing out on players. Melio's gone down in the process.
It's a best of 3, yes. Best of 3, best of 3.
It's going to make this a very heavy heavy storm from Tanuki.
But it's not enough. They tank on through. We're seeing CHOPPERMAG. The devil has been unleashed for the counterplay as their diver got to their backline, but taken down. And once again, Citadel losing individual members, but seem to be holding the fight for the battle rebirth beacon will bring Kethic back.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. Remember, when they win the first round and then they taunt, you can. That's a very ballsy move because the tournament's not over yet. You can taunt all you want, but then if you lose, then you look dumb.
He's always in these fights. Amelio, he's gone down a couple of times now, still wants to try and build up that final judgment as a way to sort of clear this objective. The Omega Hurricane not getting too much for Tanuki. Yarn Amplify up in that damage, seeing if they can get Enzo online potentially with this Eye of Agamotto at the same time. There comes Melio just leaping into the fray, so close to having his ultimate. The CHOPPERMAG don't really have much to sit back on and support, especially when Skittles was taken down just moments ago. Galactic Legend and the Freedom Charge ready to fight on the Soul Resurgence final judgment combination from Ken and Melio, but it's not enough to keep Zenstari going. It's not enough to keep him alive. He's going to be brought back from the Be-Right Back, but Alex is finding the picks now.
Holding it together, Eye of Agamotto going to be blocked out by the barrier of the Sephiroth. It's not enough to keep Tanuki up, but Enzo holding the fight has their own Eye of Agamotto to look for the turnaround right from above the point to remove the defenders as Fidel is going to be walled off for the one last chance at the defense, and point 2 goes over to Citadel.
God damn, bro.
3.5 minutes still on the clock because that first point was so fast.
They have
Citadel.
so much time, bro. They have so much time.
For CHOPPERMAG, they have some ultimates at least to sit back with, but they want to try and contest this space that already Citadel has taken. Look how far forward they've tried to push to make sure that CHOPPERMAG cannot get comfortable and set up on this defense.
Creating an opening to make sure that CHOPPERMAG, like you say, can't find a position to give themselves any kind of anger, any kind of bunker. The wraparounds coming in, you can see Kethic and Zenstari continuously on the flag. Cosmic Yard Amplifier going to be coming out as Citadel have pulled the trigger, but Melio's going to be the first to fall in this fight, meaning that this is more of a sustained ultimate than anything. Citadel not committing to this fight, just trying to deal with these flankers, chasing down the shark that's in their backline. Is Jeff used to get away? Omega Hurricane to potentially chase it on the retreat and take down the backline, but they just can't find anything, so another defensive ultimate used.
Not the Sharknado combination when it's on the other side, but Tanuki knows how this character plays. He's played it so often himself, but wants to go for something a little bit more offensive. However, both him and Melio are pretty much down on low HP. Melio even goes down if it wasn't for the Be-Right Back that is just finding so much value from the rockets that are in play here. CHOPPERMAG,
I think Rocket is by far a really strong fucking support. Having someone die and then having a res on them is just so strong.
It's whether Polly can go for the Strangler Prison early and just stop CHOPPERMAG from being able to go for a proactive approach. They're constantly on the back foot, but now they're going in for the kill.
Using the building as a little bit of cover from the Galactic Legends. Boba's going to try and find the angle. Has to fire both the skills to keep them topped up. Playing quite high in the air, utilizing the high buildings themselves for a little bit of cover as Dueb's going to be chased down as they're completely separated. Cosmic Guard Amplifier, straggling Prison onto the backline to chase them all the way to spawn. Freedom Charge going to be coming
out. Less than 1 meter, chat. Less than 1 meter.
Boosted onto the point with Goddess Boost, and the Allied Inspire is trying to remove all the defenders, but it's a huge delay coming in from Zenstari, buying so much time for the revives. Media Ram to try and take him down, finds nothing. Bobo falls, Skittles is down, Zenstari is down, and we are heading all the way to Avengers Tower here for Citadel.
Shit, this
is always a cinematic masterpiece for Citadel.
Chad, I'm scared.
They love to give us a good game, especially a full best of 3, best of 5 in some of these games. But it's finishing the map.
I'm scared, chat.
Sort of like a nail in the spooky Halloween.
Oh no, bro. The only thing I can think of right now is why did CHOPPERMAG fucking taunt, bro? Why did they taunt? That is, chat, you never talk shit in the middle of a game because when you lose, you look worse.
Strangling Prison through the invisible boundary to pull everybody out of it. It just sets up that combination of the Mantis, the Punisher, those two ultimates, the damage and speed boost put onto a freight
No, what happened when CHOPPERMAG won the first game? One of the players stood up and was like, "Hey!" and the other team was like, one of the other people were like looking at them like, "Ah!" I don't know if they said something, but that was my replay action. Polly 26-0, Enzo 23-0, Alex the Rocket player 15-0.
But here's the key difference. We didn't see the Jeff banned out against CHOPPERMAG, meaning that they can just rip Citadel's strategy right off and go for Jeff NATO pushes themselves.
It does feel like CHOPPERMAG take a lot of what Citadel have been good at, not only in this stage at this event, the entire year. But looking at the
Boba.
potential head-to-head of
How you
Iron
doing,
Fist,
pretty prince?
Molan Ran is crying in his hotel room right now, going, this
How
should
you
have
doing,
been
pretty
me.
prince?
Actually getting to go into an Iron Fist head-to-head. It's probably not where we were expected too much of the grand finals, but
Yo,
here we are.
Ian with the
CHOPPERMAG
massive
having to finish
dono.
off the map at the very least to keep us even in this
True.
best-of-3 series.
Appreciate the massive donut. True. When you shit talk, it makes someone else walk in too.
Damage. Mostly it's been Melio who's been focused this game, so Tanuki's gonna have a little bit more
Oh,
freedom with his
Boba,
mobility.
Boba's
Just try and put
smelling
some
my
pressure on.
costumes
And
that I have on the
just
ground.
all the way in the back line, just making sure the team is topped up. Sends the Battle Rebirth Beacon just around the corner, see if they can catch anyone who's picked up Enzo into the back line and catching Skittles right outside the spawn door.
Oh, they pretty much took him all the way in.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh,
He's
if
dead.
Enzo got pulled into the enemy spawn, he would have been instantly deleted. But the Be Right Backs are going to, again, come to fruition. Both teams really making use out of Rocket Raccoon, not only for the Be Right Back, but just how mobile these strategists are. It's why the Iron Fist and the Psylocke are in play, just to chase, make sure that these rodents don't get too much done in the back line, keeping their teams alive.
Then Starry moving over to the Angela, looking to just try and put some pressure, see if they can continue the very dive-heavy strategy that CHOPPERMAG have been leading on to. They've abandoned their own Iron Fist, and Pethic will be moving over to the Daredevil. Bobo back on the Star-Lord. Tanuki, on the other hand, is still continuing to duel this, and that is one of the few characters that can actually keep up with Angela thanks to the lock-on. They could chase them quite well.
Hey, Boba!
Sorry, gets brawled, comes on down for the Icar attacks for that bonus health with the Blaster Barrage from Bobo.
He's close. He's almost got that Galactic Legend to go. And it's just after the Soul Resurgence was used on the other side from Ken, so he's trying to go high up into the air, see if he can get a good vantage point. But you can see how all of Citadel Gaming are just trading out this damage, but not enough. Melio and Ken go down to the back of Bobo. He's seeing if he can now get the other strategist that's in this setup, and the barrage in combination with Duep is going to be enough. It's keeping Big's movement, but at a very slow, steady pace. Citadel Gaming are down in numbers, but you can see one at a time, touching the point, stalling it, wasting as many seconds as they can.
Now Citadel, they can try and come back.
That's
in
a
for
good hold. That's a good
reinforcement
hold
here
so
at
far,
Freedom
chat.
Charge.
I don't know.
They're
This is
going
looking
to
pretty
just
rough, chat.
rush on
It's
in
looking
with the
pretty rough,
speed
man.
to make sure that they can rush onto that point of delay as long as possible. Polly all the way from spawn to give their team a path, but Heaven's Descent in the doorway. That will slow them down and give so much distance over to CHOPPERMAG. Charging on in, brings in Enzo. A lovely gift for the team, but Fidel's going to be the first to fall. The Cosmic Card Amplifier from Citadel, giving them the damage output to push onto the point. Melio pulling in for the dance of the butterflies to try and take out the attackers. Then Starry and Bobo are both eliminated.
Oh, but Perfect, the one-sided Daredevil, is trying to claw back a redemption at the man without fear on Halloween, is finding himself the Fists of Polly, which tends to shut down a lot of duelists nowadays, but it does mean that Citadel Gaming are stalling this out. It's just an absolute brawl in the streets of New York. Midtown is really giving it for both of these sides, but CHOPPERMAG only have a minute left to push to this first checkpoint.
Enzo is down, meaning they lose a lot of that point delay. Reinforcement coming on in. Duep's going to try and rush to buy a little bit of extra time to zone out the backline. Living Chi from the Iron Fist is trying to chase them down, but Ken is already going to be removed, removing a lot of healing out from Citadel and that damage boost.
Ow,
Immediately,
Boba,
Tanuki's
your
trying to brawl, but he
teeth are
goes
so
down just
sharp,
completely outnumbered,
man.
but it bought time, meaning Polly could come back in, meaning Alex could come back in, because Enzo portals the team, but a reinforcement. They're burning through so much time of CHOPPERMAG. Well, CHOPPERMAG will likely take this fight, especially with that Galactic
Oh,
Legend.
no.
Ooh, great pick.
That's good. That's good for. That's good for Chopper. That's good for Chopper. Hey, they made it. They made it.
He's even going to dive through it. He's not afraid
Damn,
to take this fight
he
right
went-
to the doors of where Citadel was setting up on this defense.
Damn. Okay,
All
Bobo.
the way back. It's a great
Okay,
play. It
Bobo.
provides that space to hit this first checkpoint and might be
You
able
wanna
to
bite
catch
me?
some
You
of
wanna
these
bite
plays
me?
from
I'll
Citadel.
bite
Have
you.
to
How about
try
I
and
bite
reset
you,
them
huh?
back out
Would you like it if
because
I bite
CHOPPERMAG
you?
were hungry for a few
Huh?
more picks.
I thought Perfect was Blake Daredevil. Like you said, Bobo the man without fear, but you don't need to have much fear when you have a rocket network teleport back to the objective, that astral jump, to return you to a safe location after you've dived onto the objective. Perfect right now looking for the high ground, has eyes on Melio.
Listen, if that cat wants to bite me, I'll bite him.
With the damage out for the chase, it's good. The devil has been unleashed, but they get knocked back off the point for the first fight. The Heavens Descent is buying a lot of time, but that Cosmic Yard Amplifier is
Whoa, whoa,
keeping
animal
Citadel in it
cruelty,
with
chat.
the
Come on,
freedom
that's
charge
not this stream. You got that messed up with the shot collar.
Perfect is
That
just
wrong
finding
stream,
these
chat, wrong
hands
stream.
from all the members of Citadel Gaming, and now the dance of the butterflies instantly shut down from Bobo. Melio's not going to have a chance to use it. Paulie manages to catch on to Skittles, and a freedom charge is going to be used from Duo to keep stalling things out, to keep this fight going. Citadel Gaming down 2 players, but a 4 versus 6, 3 versus 6. They're still able to sort of buy some time.
They're doing it. They're doing it. If they cap all 3 points, chat, I might scream without the S.
This is a place where the payload often gets stuck. CHOPPERMAG might have their trickiest challenge, their trickiest fight coming up.
Citadel bringing now the Adam Warlock for that extra defense. They don't have Portal available, so Soulbond becomes the next highest priority because they already have that Battle Rebirth Beacon. So every bit of sustain that they could use to hold this fight will be incredibly useful, as Enzo has access to that Meteor M for that last second defense. Skittle not having
No, that's Bobo, bro. That's Bobo. He's Boba.
The first to fall, removing the Battle Rebirth Beacon. Invisible Boundary, sniped out of the air, taken down. And the dive from Tanuki is going to remove Fidel, moving that Battle Rebirth Beacon on the side. Bobo is already back.
Bro, we're watching Daredevil, we're watching Angela, we're watching Iron Fist. Bro, this is a fucking game. I like this. This is what I like to see, chat. I don't want to see meta. I want to see some very interesting and fun picks.
The majority of damage with the Meteor M, taking some of that bullets to make that
Is it
big
Boba?
old ball
Is it
strong and
Boba?
straight into the forehead of Bobo. He's going to feel that one in the morning, but he might also be playing for his elimination a little bit later on. Tanuki now not willing to give up these fights. If it's going on, it means that there's still a fighting chance for Citadel Gaming to keep this held back and to keep buying time.
Perfect holding the line, at least for the Bobo.
Wait, what was my lawyer doing? Chat, was my lawyer doing anything? Am I going to jail?
For Alex, for the sustain. We're so close to a karmic revival. I mean, they just have to keep Melio up. A beautiful charge onto Polly, but they're just too far, too mobile. Battle Rebirth Beacon brings back head into the fight as Skittles is on the flank, making sure everyone is topped up, but the dive might be too much. Bobo is down, as is Zenstory. It's Jeff onto the
Oh no!
Cleared up. CHOPPERMAG unable to go further on to match finishing the map for Citadel
bro,
Gaming.
they talk shit and they got it.
They do things by 3. Citadel Gaming able to move up.
Wow,
in the
I
winners
actually
bracket.
cannot believe Citadel actually brought that back. In the beginning of this, I would thought CHOPPERMAG was going to make an upset and beat Citadel. Citadel is... I don't know if Citadel's not looking like a good team, or if CHOPPERMAG actually improved that much.
Jeff, an attempt to reach. I'm flabbergasted. They tried to inch Jeff onto the point just to touch for a little bit longer, but they just were caught short. Citadel Gaming continuing their run through the upper bracket, heading up to those semi-finals, but CHOPPERMAG sure made them work for it.
It was a potential nightmare scenario for Citadel Gaming, but they get that scary team of CHOPPERMAG out of the way for the time being. Always a chance that they could rematch them later on in the tournament, but for CHOPPERMAG, you've got a best-of-5 break, and then you'll play a little bit
Salah's
later
getting
up
everyone a
against
hug.
Dark
What a
Zero,
nice guy.
which
I like
did
Salah.
see these 2 teams play in their respective groups, right? And
I
think
like
in the end,
Salah.
it went to
Salah's a good guy.
Dark Zero, that one, so it's with a full best-of-5. Feels like we could see a few more maps trade either side in that case.
Dark Zero also put a pretty solid